Never seen a smile so big on my little old lady's face until I tell her I'm going fishing all weekend. Pack up all of my baby, I make plans for 7:45, and I swing around, pick up my date for the weekend. Some reason she seems to please when I'm leaving. There's something I'm missing when I'm gone fishing. When I'm gone fishing. When I'm gone fishing.
Yeah, baby.
Yes, sir. Oof, what a show we have tonight. Hope everybody's strapped on and ready. You've got a beverage, cool beverage, and you had a great, restful weekend because there's a lot of moving parts tonight, and it's going to be everything I have to keep on top of it. Welcome. First and foremost, welcome. It is an interesting Monday, depending on what part of the nation you are in. Weather-wise, I tell you, it is a topsy-turvy smorgasbord of weather that we have been receiving over the last, I would say, 72 hours. But depending on where you are, if you are still strapped down and you didn't blow away with the weekend's wind, again, welcome. Thanks so much, Tricia. Sally's in the house. It is ladies' night. Good evening, Scott Stewart, all the way out on the West Coast. Steve Shaw's in the house. Big shout out to Steve. Of course, he is going to be working just as hard behind the scenes with all the links and helping out with various things that he does. Not to mention, and I want to say this, there is going to be a video on the eve of Women's International Day tomorrow. We're on the eve. There's a really cool video that Steve and Walter helped put together, and we'll be playing that at the very end of our broadcast with a bunch of other things just before it. Unfortunately, again, got to start on a sad note. We laid to rest a very good friend and very active participant in the ICHA event. For all those who are down in the Windsor area and attend this event each year, minus COVID, we are sad again to announce that our good friend Americo has passed, and it was a tough week for our buddy Pat and his and Pat's family, as well as Americo's family and all our friends down in the Windsor area. But again, just a tribute to Americo, just because of how influential he was with the ICHA and a whole bunch of events that Pat and him were a part of, and Mike Atkins. There's a whole bunch of them down there that I know they're grieving and they're having a tough time. But here's to Americo. If you knew this gentleman, you understand how hard it is to say goodbye. As I said, he will be sadly missed, sorely missed by a whole whack of people, including myself. And I wish I had one last chance to say goodbye to a great individual and a heck of a guy. Americo, you will be missed. Anyway, tonight's show, again, it is ladies' night. Yvonne is going to be co-hosting with me. And we have a very special guest, Loretta, and I'm hoping I get this name right. Loretta Jacobson Bilous. Is she nodding? Is she? Oh, it looks like I screwed up. All right. Well, it's the best way to get off on the wrong foot. Loretta, I can get that name. You're going to be coming up soon because she's going to be telling us a whole bunch of stuff, including some exciting stuff that in regards to the Dryden District Conservation Club and some of the initiatives and programs that that club is a part of. There's a lot that I'm going to learn tonight from it, and I'm hoping you are going to learn with me. And I know Yvonne is all set up with a whole bunch of questions and ready to grill our guest, Loretta. She'll be gentle. Loretta's going to do a fantastic job. We're looking forward to that. Plus, we have some really cool giveaway announcements from both OWA and, of course, Barry and Sal. Now, I'm not 100% sure how we're going to set this up yet, but I just want to give you a prelude to what to expect. When you see the post, don't put it in the comments tonight. Please do not put it in the comments tonight. But here's a prelude to when we do post it. Get your guesses ready. And here's Barry and Sal.
G'day, folks. Barry and Sal here at Graceland. This little video is for a giveaway we have for our
Back Road Adventures jersey. Whoever gets the closest without going over the number of pictures, CFN pictures that we have on our walls in our home.
here in Graceland.
Yeah, anyways, good luck everybody.
Yeah.
And put your number in there and see if you can win one of our Back Road Adventures jerseys. You'll love them. They're made by Fish Whipped Apparel and they're just beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we have that going on, as well as Yvonne is going to introduce us to the OWA giveaway. The lads will be joining me right after our ladies event and our ladies night spectacular with Loretta and all she's going to tell us. And then this is where it gets interesting. So as far as I know, Shawn McCaul is going to be joining us. It could be Moose. It could be Mark Hunter to talk about the Peterborough Tackle Swap and Fishing Show. So that'll wrap everything up at the very end. But before we get started with Yvonne, here is a word from our sponsor.
Gotta love Shimano products.
Gotta love Shimano.
Got love Shimano. Have my Shimano hat here.
Gotta love Shimano.
Gotta love Shimano.
Gotta love Shimano.
Gotta love Shimano. Shimano bag right here. Gotta love Shimano.
Gotta love Shimano.
Gotta love Shimano.
Shimano rules. Just using my new Shimano Convergence I picked up on the weekend. So, hey, that's a bonus.
Gotta love that new Shimano Symetra RH. Gotta love Shimano.
Gotta love Shimano. Show off your Shimano flyers.
You gotta love your Shimano. Oh, what I say?
You
always gotta love Shimano. Got my Shimano 2500 HG FX right here.
Shimano rules. Fish on, guys.
Cool video.
You know, I'm telling you, we're blessed. I mean, Mike and his team of editors, it's really cool that his students are able to put some of the stuff together. And the fact that we're able to put a commercial together for our very esteemed sponsors and partners in Shimano, a video like that ties in the whole community. It's just a win-win.
And who did you say puts it together with students?
So that one in particular was put together by Mike Consul and his army of Catholic school students. It's really cool because they're able to work towards their credits. You know, the hours of I think it's the 40 hours that they have to amass in order to graduate. So they're able to do that, as well as it's kind of a stepping stone. As Mike and I have been finding out, some of the students that helped with some of these videos have moved on to some pretty cool things. So this was a stepping stone for all of them to get into video, videography, or even movie making. There's a couple that are producers right now. So
that's great.
Win-win. So how's Yvonne tonight?
I am well. I feel a little bit hungover, to be honest with you.
Now, from what? All the gas prices that we're having?
Yeah, God. That's one. No, I was in Quebec visiting my grandson, and he's like a year and a half, and I love spending time with him. When I get home, I'm like kind of wiped out.
It is. And that, you know what? I think every grandparent will agree with you. That's the best part of being a grandparent.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. Knock on wood. Knock on a
Yeah.
lot of wood. But yeah, soon to be. And yes, I will be enjoying and sharing in the same pleasures that you are.
Mhm.
Grandson. So, what's in store tonight? We have a very special guest, and I hope I didn't
Yes.
butcher her name. I'll just say Loretta out of absolute respect for this woman because she has a lot going on and there's
Yeah.
a lot to get to. But I know you have some announcements before we do.
Yes. So tomorrow, like you said, is International Women's Day. And if you've had a chance to go and look at their website, the theme this year is Break the Bias. And I thought, I'll just briefly talk about like how that is in the fishing community. Like they're trying to, the theme is to recognize that we do need to break away from these stereotypes and from discrimination. And since I got back into fishing 13 years ago, I've seen a tremendous change in our outdoors community where there are more women in the outdoors, hunting especially, but fishing, and there's a lot more ladies engaging in the sport and trying new facets. They may have been just a bass and panfish angler, and now they've wanted to broaden their horizons and fish for different species and go ice fishing and fly fishing and whatnot. So and since I've mentioned before, this is Ontario Women Anglers 10th anniversary, and even since the inception of that organization, or this organization, I've seen many other groups pop up that provide activities for women, and they're not just fishing, but hunting and tracking and trapping and butchering or whatever. So it's great just to see more and more ladies get involved in these groups annually. Yeah, so that's basically all I wanted to mention about that. We do have a giveaway tonight, and because it is International Women's Day and Ladies' Night, it's going to be a ladies only draw. So I know you have. Yeah. I know that you have the graphic of the prize package, and it's worth about $130. So
that's
I think someone will post the link, or I'll post the link later. And there's a question, of course, to be answered, and you have to share the link from this interview tonight on your website, not your website, your Facebook page.
There is the link there, and that is the link for you to enter in what Yvonne is describing. And as I said, that is quite a gift pack, and one lucky CFN lady is going to run away with that. So good luck to all, and thanks to you, Yvonne, for making this possible.
You're most welcome. So a couple of other things. Earlier in the year, late last year, I kind of had decided we're not doing any trade shows. There was just too many unknowns with COVID and whatnot. But as we've kind of restrictions have lifted and things have improved a bit, I decided I thought maybe it's time for Ontario Women Anglers to come out of hibernation. So we're going to do 2 one-day shows. The first one is the Peterborough Tackle Swap and Fishing Show, and that is March 20th. And then the second one, we're going to be at the Muskie Odyssey in Hamilton, and that is April 2nd. So if you're at either of the shows, please come by our booth and say hello, and it'd be nice to chat with people from the community again.
Awesome.
And, really looking forward to it as well. The last time I was on, I think I mentioned that we were holding a fundraiser for one of our, she's a volunteer and a member of Ontario Women Anglers, Chris McDougall. I met in 2014 at the Women's Outdoor Weekend held by the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters, and she had never fished before. There she is with Kat. She had never fished before, and she caught bass that weekend. And I think it was the following year or months later, she joined Ontario Women Anglers. And within a year, she was volunteering. So she's been with the organization about 8 years. A lovely lady. And she, around the new year, was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. So it has moved. It's in parts of her bone, and it's on her spine as well. So she is undergoing treatment. She's had radiation. She's doing, they call it hormone therapy. And so she's managing as best as she can. Her mobility isn't quite there. She is using a walker right now. And we just found out on Friday that they're going to have to make modifications to the condominium, like they have to take it the bathtub. It's going to have to be a walk-in shower, handrails, and all sorts of other things just to help her get along in the home, and until she's feeling a little bit more confident walking without the walker and whatnot. So we set up a GoFundMe page. Our goal was $10,000. We only put it up, I think it was Tuesday of last week, and we're already at almost $6,100, which is great. It's like been a fantastic response. We're very overwhelmed by it, as is Chris. I talked to her today, and she just can't believe the amount and the number of people that have given to this. If anybody could help, if they'd like to help, every little amount helps to go towards these things that she will need, additional, like any kind of medical expenses, transportation. Like, I mean, with fuel prices right now, if they have to go to medical appointments, that adds up. Her sister Patty and her husband Dave are her primary caregivers. Patty lives in Guelph, so she is doing some traveling back and forth when she needs to go home and take Chris to appointments. So, what else? Sorry, I got all my notes here. So the goal is $10,000. We also have a second part of the fundraiser where we are modifying the OWA logo to incorporate the pink ribbon for breast cancer awareness, and we'll be selling some limited edition t-shirts. So all the profits from that will go directly to Chris and her family, again, to help with any future expenses that she may have to deal with.
Well done, Yvonne. As I said, on behalf of CFN, I know we're going to be getting together as a legacy group. I'm going to be calling a meeting, and we want to help out as well. So I will be calling our legacy members together, and you can count on CFN. And
I just wanted to mention thank you to not just to everyone who has donated so far, but also to Steve Shaw and his family, who made a donation in memory of their daughter Serena. So very, very thankful that they thought about our initiative and did something in memory of their daughter.
They are a remarkable family, and we're so happy to have him a part of our community. Steve and I know he hates hearing it, but he does a lot for us and continues to give in many, many ways. So we will echo that sentiment with the Shaw family and do something similar as a community. So good luck, Chris.
There's one thing that's not on the GoFundMe page, only because they have restrictions as to what you can put in your blurb. You're not allowed to do giveaways and things like that, but we do have giveaways. It's just not going to be on the GoFundMe page. So for every $10 that a person donates, they get their name put into a draw. And I'll post what the packages are. There are 3 fishing packages. A total value of $2,700, and we have like a first, second, third. So I'll just post that in the comments. And so if you do make a donation, then your name will go into the draw. Sorry, I'm just going to post that here. There we go. So lots of great prizes, and we're very, very thankful to all of the sponsors and the people that have stepped up and made donations of, like, there's charters in there. There's various equipment. We have an ice fishing package, a muskie package, and like a salmon trout charter as well. So anybody who donates will be.
Thanks to all the sponsors. Lloyd Dome has stepped up in a big way. See that. Shimano, of course, is there. OWA, Lake Simcoe Power Box. Enzo, good for you, my friend. It's that kind of support that allows initiatives like this to grow. And without you folks, it just doesn't happen. So kudos to all of you and all of you who have donated. But some great prizes there, Yvonne. Wow.
That's good.
Very cool. So our upcoming guest, Loretta.
Loretta.
Where did you meet Loretta for the first time?
I believe we met at the Women's Outdoor Weekend, the one that was held in Dryden, because she also manages or coordinates a program in. Sorry, I met her in Minden with the Women's Outdoor Weekend. The Durham. Oh gosh, I screwed this up again. I was talking to her earlier. So I always say Durham instead of Dryden. It's the Dryden District Conservation Club. They have a Women's Outdoor Weekend within the club that she coordinates. So yeah, I'd met her in Minden. I've had an opportunity to talk with her, over the last few years. She's participated in some of our tournaments when we've done them remotely, and she's encouraged ladies that are associated with the club to participate as well. So we've gained quite a few new members just because of this new affiliation we have with Loretta and the club. She's doing a fantastic job. I mean, she's a volunteer at the club. She's a volunteer at the zone, and she's just involved in so many things and very, very supportive and a great mentor for getting ladies into hunting and fishing. So, yeah, I've got, she's going to kind of talk a little bit about herself, and then we're going to talk about some of the initiatives that she's involved with.
So first things first, what we'll do is we'll play a video while we bring Loretta in, basically describing their last initiative and the money that they raised. And then we'll let you and Loretta take it from there. Have a listen.
We're here at the Dryden Conservation Club. They do fantastic work here. Larry, Loretta, we announced $107,000. Tell us what a difference this makes for your members and for the community.
Well, this will allow us to make renovations to our building that'll help people with accessing our facility.
That's important.
It'll bring more members out here, and our building needed a lot of work. This is a huge injection in the arm for us to get things done.
Perfect. And Loretta, there's an exciting group of women here invested in nature.
Yes.
Talk about, wow.
Yeah. Well, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, I was introduced to the Women's Outdoor Weekend program, and had the opportunity to be able to host one here. And yeah, we were able to teach women archery, trap shooting, four-wheeling. We want to introduce fishing and so forth. With COVID, we had to shut her down a little bit, but still had the opportunity to do hunting programs, butchering, all kinds of neat stuff. So yeah, now we have the opportunity to be able to do these kind of things winter, summer.
4 seasons.
4 seasons.
Awesome. Well, without further ado, here is Loretta to tell us even more. Evening, Loretta. How you doing?
Good evening. I'm great. Thank you.
How close did I get? By Lois? Is that close?
Bilous.
Oh,
it's okay.
The first time, so fantastic. Well, Loretta, thanks so much for joining us tonight. And please, as I said, don't hold back. Our community wants to know everything about your club and some of the initiatives that you have undertaken and are going to continue to undertake now that COVID is hopefully a distant memory.
Hopefully. Yeah, just, maybe, Loretta, could you just start off with sort of telling people, who you are, where you live, the, your involvement with the outdoors community, and then how all that kind of led to the OFAH Women's Outdoor Weekend program.
Okay. So I live in Dryden, Ontario, 2 hours from the Manitoba border. Yeah, I'm a mom. I have triplet 23-year-old boys, and 10 years ago, I lost my husband to cancer. So the boys were only 13 at the time. So I kind of stepped up to the plate. We always hunt, we fish together as a family. I stepped up to the plate to continue to teach them both, mostly hunting and fishing, with a number of different friends helping out in the background and so forth. And then they grew up on me. So I had to kind of reinvent who I was. And it just so happened that I got introduced to the Women's Outdoor Weekend program, and thought, you know what, if I can teach my boys how to hunt and how to fish, then, you know, I can do the same thing with women. So our first Women's Outdoor Weekend program was in 2018. And one of our outfitters donated a deer hunt for women. So it worked out really well. Ended up getting 2 women's hunts out of that. And then things just kind of spiraled from there. Yeah, we deer hunted. The next year, another outfitter introduced us to bear hunting. Had a friend take us out archery, moose hunting. So yeah, it just kind of, every year we add a little bit more. COVID hit. We weren't able to do a WOW at our club. So we ended up, Wilderness Air stepped up and they ended up hosting a mini WOW. We had Lori and Horst from Southern Ontario and a couple girlfriends that I had met at the Minden WOW. They ended up coming up, and yeah, we ended up doing fishing, 4-wheeling. We did wild edibles, just all kinds of stuff. And yeah, things just kind of spiraled from there because we weren't able to do the actual weekend WOW. We did different workshops instead, which got into the butchering, gun cleaning, sighting in your guns, all that kind of stuff. And just recently, so over a 3-year period, it's turned into something really cool. I was actually invited into the Dryden High School to bring deer and teach the students how to skin the deer, how to butcher their deer, all that kind of stuff. So it's been quite a couple of years of growth all the way around, and yeah, just women teaching women and so forth. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, and I've seen like with COVID, I mean, OWA, we had to change a lot of our events to remote. So it allowed people from Dryden and surrounding area, or people that couldn't come to an in-person event, to fish in local bodies of water. And so you were able to get more ladies engaged that way too, because we started getting a whole bunch of new names, new people signing up and participating in these activities. And going forward, we're going to, even if we have an in-person event, we're going to continue making it available for people in remote areas.
Yeah. Well, it was really awesome because I'd never kayak fished prior to your tournaments. So Michelle Vardy, Michelle and I met because of the WOW and so forth. So she had the fishing kayaks and so forth. So that's how we started together. And then I ended up going into another one in a canoe with another girlfriend. And yeah, so it's been really fun just pulling one girlfriend at a time in. And yeah, it's been neat.
And so we saw Greg Rickford, right?
Yes, yeah.
Sometimes I call him Rick Gregford. Yeah. So Minister Rickford, he is the Minister of Northern Development, Mines, Natural Resources, and Forestry. It's getting longer every time that they change it, right? Yeah. And so that video was about the club getting a $107,000 grant to make improvements. But I think that the picture Scotty showed, and that's not the club, right?
That's not the club. We would like that.
Because I was going to say, I can't wait to go see this place.
Oh, yeah.
Just absolutely gorgeous.
That is Temple Bay Lodge.
That is Temple Bay Lodge.
That's Temple Bay Lodge.
Smokes, I can't wait to go see that place then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, 2018, our club was kind of looking, things weren't going well. Club was possibly going to fold if we didn't get, something happening. The WOW, we ended up hosting one, and it kind of took off from there, kind of breathed a breath of fresh air into the club. Again, just starting doing archery, that kind of stuff, women's trap shooting. We've got fantastic coaches all the way around. So yeah, our clubhouse it was old. We've got 79 acres at our club, but our clubhouse is probably 52 years old. And it was either tear it down or do something with it. And I took a stab in the dark, just trying to fill out a Northern Ontario Heritage Fund grant without the help of a girlfriend, Elaine Fisher, who lives in Fort Francis. I would not have followed through with it. They are a lot of work. So yeah, we ended up scoring 107,000. And so now we'll be over the next 2 years, we'll be doing some construction to our building. So yeah, pretty sweet. Out of that, we ended up also, again, during COVID, our membership ended up almost tripling because of the archery program. Families could come out to the club, and dad could be doing archery, and then we have a kid station as well. The kids could be learning, and then mom and dad swap off. So families were coming out together, and it was amazing. So our membership pretty much tripled throughout that. So wow. It was pretty sweet.
That's great. And there was a second grant.
Yes, sorry. The Dryden Trailblazers, again, recognized how much work we were doing. And they reached out to us and asked how they could help us out. And we filled out an application. So we're in the process of, I'm going to say probably 20 years ago, they had started a sporting clays course. For whatever reason, it fell off the radar kind of. So when we do our archery, we've got some 3D tournaments. Mm-hmm. So those trails is what we've been using for our 3D or snowshoeing in the winter. And so with that $40,000 grant, we are going to be building a sporting clays course. So pretty sweet. Yeah. Yeah. So lots of really fabulous things happening. And we've got amazing volunteers. Always look for more, of course. But yeah, the ones that we have in place are pretty darn good.
So Yvonne, you can understand when I hear this kind of work being done behind the scenes, how I would link that picture to the efforts of what I thought and perceived the club to be. The more you hear about this, holy smokes, Loretta, you're a busy gal.
Yes. And you also sit on Zone A on their board as well, correct?
Yes, I'm the vice president for that as well. So I'm the secretary for the Dryden Conservation Club. I organize the coordinator for the Women's Outdoor Weekend program, vice president for Zone A, which puts me into being a director for OFAH. And then the Dryden Rifle and Pistol Club, I'm the treasurer for that as well. So full-time volunteer.
Holy smokes.
I thought I had a busy life.
No kidding. Now, Loretta, you do fish, and there's a video that I want to share. You're up in the Eagle Lake area. Temple Bay, as you said, is one of the contributors that help out. But tell us, about your fishing prowess and your love and passion for fishing.
I always fish, or my husband and I, we always fish together, and always loved it. Ice fishing, summer fishing. And then, of course, again, with the Women's Outdoor Weekend program and stuff like that, we introduced fishing. As a widow, I kind of ended up putting myself out there, often just inviting myself out with other people fishing. It was awesome. People, they treated me like one of the guys, so took me everywhere. But yeah, so driving four-wheelers, snow machines, all that kind of stuff. I don't drive my own boat yet, but it is on my things to do this year.
Right on.
Yeah.
Probably it won't be long by the sounds of it.
You know what, I've always, with the boys, I let them learn, like they drive, all that kind of stuff. And then, I'm always so busy that getting in the boat, that's my relaxed time. And So yeah, but over the last couple of years, I've been really pushed out of my comfort zone. I trailer everything. I can trailer a boat. I can do all that kind of stuff. I haven't been in the driver's seat yet. So that'll be my this year.
Cool.
And when we talked, was it last week or a couple of weeks ago now, you had also mentioned there was a tagged fish. There's a competition for a tagged fish in your area.
Yeah, so the Dryden Trailblazers, they have a program out right now that, I think there's a couple of fish out there, and you have to buy a ticket. So I have my ticket, and it's good to the end of the year. So it's a $20 ticket to get involved. It's on the Wabigoon chain of lakes. So you just have to have your ticket on you when you catch the fish, and you take the tag off and you submit it. There's 3 different places within the Dryden area that you can take that to. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 places. Yeah, I just bought my ticket on the beginning of March. But yeah, the Dryden Trailblazers, they're part of the Dryden Chamber of Commerce.
Very cool. Holy
yeah.
Lots going on up in that area of Ontario.
And
for those folks who are up in that area, I hope you learned a thing or two like I did tonight, and how you might be able to get involved. If you wanted to purchase a ticket, I believe this is the link that Steve shared that you can go to get involved. Is that true?
I believe so.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So the fish is on like the Wabigoon chain of lakes. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So this June, I know like you've got a ton going on, and we have, you and I and Michelle and 2 other ladies from OWA have talked about we are forming a northern chapter of OWA, and hopefully we'll have a couple of events running, and one that we're going to do in partnership with the WOW program up in Dryden. And do you want to talk a little bit about this? I know like it's very early days. I don't even think we have a date confirmed, but you have talked with Sunset Country about hosting.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're looking at 2 different weekends in June, most likely June 11th, 12th, and 13th. It'll be a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Rather than me trying to do a Women's Outdoor Weekend program at the club when it's under renovations, we thought that this Ontario Women Anglers program might be, just as fun or whatever, right? So Steve Smith from Sunset Country Adventures has offered for us to be able to host our event there, and we'll be taking probably about 10 women, and we haven't figured out prices and all that kind of stuff yet, but anybody that's interested, they can definitely message me on through Facebook, and we can talk more. I can get them on the list and so forth. Once we get more details, I can share it.
Yeah.
Very
Don't open that door yet. You're gonna have at least 10, by the end of the hour.
100%.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, Yvonne, as always, I can't thank you enough for bringing on yet another fantastic guest that taught us an area of Ontario that maybe some of us don't know, and certain goings on of that area. I wish you well, Loretta, in all that you're undertaking and involved with, and I wish you good luck on learning how to drive a boat this summer.
Thanks. Yeah, and just keep in mind too. So we're we're about 18 hours from you, Yvonne.
Driving. So I'm going to be going up in June. So I think it's a 21-hour straight drive for me. So it'll be 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much, Loretta. You have yourself a great evening, and we will make sure that we catch up with you soon and make sure that we're up to date with everything that you are involved with. But Might need a scorecard for that.
Thanks so much.
Take care, Loretta.
Okay.
Yet again, Yvonne, thanks so much. What a great guest. Very modest for everything that she's involved with. Holy
Yeah,
smoke.
just incredible. She's busy. Like it's all volunteer work too, right? Everything she does is volunteer, but it's like a full-time job. One of the OWA members she mentioned, Michelle Vardy, who has been a volunteer with the Women's Outdoor Weekend program for I'm not sure how many years. She calls her the fishing goddess. You know, just she takes ladies out, and I think she just really enjoys the outdoors and loves to get more and more ladies involved in the fishing and hunting sports. So my hat's off to her. I don't know. I don't know where she gets the energy.
And speaking of which, Chris McDougall asking
road trip.
Yeah, baby.
Sure. Good thing.
Well, Yvonne, thanks so much. And again, for anybody who wants a chance at a great prize pack that Yvonne has brought to us, it's about $130.
Yep.
And of course, Steve shared the link. Not exactly sure where it is in the comments right now, but if we get to the end of this tonight, we will make sure we post it again and share it so that all the female anglers that have a chance to win that prize pack do so.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Scotty.
All righty, you take care, Yvonne. Thanks again.
Okay, see you in April.
Yeah, baby. All righty. Well, before we bring on the lads, I think it's time for that wondrous, beautiful Shimano ad. And here we go. The lads are coming up next. Are in the house. How we doing, lads?
Good.
We're good.
Oh yeah, Loretta, I don't think she could involve herself in any more.
No.
Holy smokes.
No. She does a lot. She does a lot for the ladies out there, and just for the I don't know, I want to call it the industry, for mental health, for all that good stuff that she's doing, man. And she really influences a lot of people. So, you know, we use the term influencer these days, you know, maybe in terms of, you know, if you make fancy videos and stuff, but that's an influencer right there.
The real thing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of influencing, I'm sharing this just because I saw it on the weekend. Jim and Jay saw it. Lawrence, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to describe it to you, but basically that is a crankbait, something that you would typically throw for bass. And as you notice, there's a weight attached to the treble at the bottom. And I want to thank Bill Barber and Rob Jackson for sharing this to us, because well, at least to me anyway, because I don't know anything about that. I've never seen that, but especially for ice fishing. But Jim, that is something that has been used before, and primarily for lake trout.
Yeah, I've seen it used. I know Jay did some research there quick after we
after we went to the ladies, and like I knew it was made by Clam, and he thinks it's discontinued now. It's not, because that would be one of those things that's so specialized. Everybody runs out and buys it, and Jackson's probably the only guy in Canada, with Clam that actually put it down the hole and tried it. It's just one of those things that just looks, right out there that people wouldn't think to do. But, I know some guys that have caught some tremendous amounts of fish on it, and it definitely works. And like Rob said, he eventually got a bite on it. It's what you do. And I know guys that let it go down in their second hole and leave it sit there. When they see a fish, they reel it up quick, and this thing goes blowing by them, and they hit it. And other times they drop it to the bottom and they reel it back to the top. I was telling you when I had the tackle shop about the native lads that came into the shop, and they were buying all the Lindy musky tandems, great big bucktail spinnerbaits, spinnerbait style. And I said to them, you boys getting ready for pike? And they looked at me like, what do you know? And he told me, he said, no, we're going ice fishing, So I made the comment, you guys must be good casters to hit the hole and whatever and all this and everything else. And then he says to me, no, and they were telling me that at the back of the musky tandem, where the treble hook attaches to the little eye underneath the main hook in the body, they would put on like about a half-ounce bell sinker, and then put the trailer hook back on, and they dropped it to the bottom in 65 feet of water, and they reel it back to the top as fast as they can. And these guys were not using electronics. Wow. I asked them that because like flashers were just catching up when this when this happened, and I asked them, like, are you guys using electronics? And they said, oh no, I think a couple of them said they have it on their boat, but they would never dream of ice fishing with it. And so it just caused so much commotion in the water. And the cool thing, that's why I try to talk to people and explain to them when I fish in the summertime for lake trout vertically, is that I'm usually trying to fish more, look for them, and try to catch them now because of electronics. But before we got the fancy electronics, we would drop a jig to the bottom, like something like, I still got this sitting here, something like this.
Yeah.
But probably something that weighs 3/4 of an ounce, and is 4 or 5 inches long. We would drop it to the bottom and reel it back. That's all we did, was drop it to the bottom, reel it back, drop it to the bottom, reel it back. And this was 30 years ago. And people used to see me with lake trout. You're in a bass boat. How can you're catching lake trout? They couldn't figure it out. But the secret to it was that with lake trout, the depth is so key.
Yeah.
You can troll around all day with your line down 35 feet. Well, if the lake trout are at 55, you ain't going to catch them. Or if you're at 55 and they're at 35, you're probably not going to catch them. But when you drop that lure to the bottom and then you reel it back to the top, every time you do that, you go past where the fish are. And they're not always all at the same level. So you give yourself multiple chances. Because I know lots of times we drop it into 80 feet of water, be filling it up, you get a bite.
Oh, the most important part, and he bleeps out on us.
Yeah.
Hang on, you know what? Rob Jackson's probably hacking his internet connection.
Yeah, someone's in with the Russians or something, man.
Rob Jackson's down the road, sending up like
giving away my secrets. Did he hit the old zap button?
You said too much. You're cut off. Yeah, that's right.
You were bleeping out, Jim.
Oh,
right on the most important part of how do you catch fish on these things.
Yeah, I think he's still frozen, unfortunately.
Okay.
We get him back in.
It's all right.
But I saw that video.
And
I saw the video.
Game.
Oh, there he is.
And I'm not sure if it was the same fish followed it.
And gone again.
God, yeah.
But that video you shared.
Can someone screenshot this?
Careful, the man's loaded.
Oh, there we go. Here we go.
Right there. Yeah. No, we'll get Jim back. But sorry, go ahead, Lawrence.
No, that video you shared, Jason, it showed these people were using them on crankbaits like X-Wraps and things and just casting them out. And, people started casting out those jigging wraps in the summer and just fling them as far as they could. let them go right to the bottom and just jigging them back towards the boat, with jerks and hops on the bottom and just keeping them down like 6 inches off the bottom kind of thing. This is exactly the kind of tool you could use for getting your crankbaits down there and bringing them right close, tight to the bottom and getting those walleye that are stuck down there.
Yeah, it's one of those devices. Like you make a good point there. I think sometimes we overthink these things, right, guys? We talk about this all the time. Like, we all want the best and brightest and fanciest gadgets and lures and baits and newest, and we're all gearheads like that. But just sometimes, like, let's just take a classic crankbait, weight it down a little more, and cast it out a little bit further, reel it down a little deeper. And then the same thing, Lawrence, just going out and taking a jigging Rap, using it like jigging Raps can catch fish year round. We're too stuck in our ways as anglers. And I find what I've noticed, especially the last couple of years, fishing like so much with Trevor and his buddies. These kids show up, they got one box, they got half a dozen things in it, and they throw what they throw, and they catch what they catch. And they don't have any preconceived ideas. They haven't watched as many fishing videos or read as many magazines as I have. And I've learned as much from them some days as I learned from the stuff that I immerse myself into. And some of the stuff that kids can teach us, and it's impressive. And not even kids, just new anglers. They don't know any better. And fish are not that bright. They aren't. We give them too much credit. We try too hard sometimes. We overthink it.
And we do. And we don't have that optimism young people have, like new anglers, they think, oh, this is going to get it. And they just have this feeling it's going to bite at any moment. And I think that's super helpful too, right? To have that positive attitude when you're fishing, because if you don't have it, you don't catch them. And, unless you just put your rod down and have a sandwich, then you're liable to more likely get a strike than you're fishing with a negative attitude.
Hey, and it draws a lot of comparisons, lake trout fishing to, deep sea fishing. And you see them all the time. They're jigging and reeling, and they can't get it to the surface fast enough. A lot of similarities can be drawn between lake trout and our sea cousins. But, as I said, not too many other fish from a freshwater perspective will chase a bait like a laker will.
No.
The smallmouth do. Like when you're in clear water, some of those Canadian Shield lakes, and you're in like where the water's 30, 40 feet of clarity. Man, those smallmouth, they'll come up from 20, 30 feet down and slam your spinner. You can't reel it fast enough. They just nail it. It's amazing. Like on the St. Lawrence River, you can't crank a white spinnerbait fast enough to entice a smallmouth bass. You gotta almost be, have that electric motor going at 3/4 speed and reeling as fast as you can at the same time towards the back of the boat to get a good solid strike, and then hang on.
100%. Now, Jim, you were also showing modification for gar fishing as well with the crankbait and that trailer hook.
Oh,
have you got that with you?
Yeah, I found it in the garage the other day looking through some stuff for the Sportsman Show, and all it is an old little Rapala, or a Storm actually, which is Rapala, subboard, a little crankbait, so it won't go down more than a foot max. And when you're gar fishing, see, there's no such thing when you're gar fishing as a blind cast. Sorry, Lawrence.
No, it's true. You look for the shadows.
You're looking for the fish. You're seeing the fish. Yeah. And if you want to, people say, oh, I hooked 20 and I only got one and whatever. Well, when you get out and you do it right and you've got things that you've learned it with, it's more like if you hook 20, you're going to land 15 or 18 of them, because these fish are ballistic, eh? Like, I mean, they're absolutely offside. Like, as soon as you hook one, look out. Like, they are wild, especially, the Ottawa River. We're so gifted with big ones there. I mean, it's nothing to catch, 48 to 50 inch gar there some days. And that's, those are monster gar.
Oh yeah.
They're as big as they come. In fact, Rob Jackson got several OFAHA records, OFAH records out of the river. And the last one he got, he didn't even register. He caught the fish. He measured it and thought, "What the heck?" Back in the drink. But
no, he's good at it. I fished with him on the Ottawa River, and it's amazing. And he says, "Look, he's telling me, Lawrence. He said to do this, you have to do it on a sunny day, and you go into these bays where you're in 2 or 3 feet of water." He said the fish reflect the light, and it's almost impossible to see them because they reflect the light in a way that makes them invisible, their scales. He said, well, you look for the shadow on the bottom of the river. And when you see that black shadow, you know there's a fish right above it. So you cast behind, you move your boat so that your fish is facing the boat. And then you cast behind it. And you have to reel that bait up from behind the fish within 6 inches of the side of the face. And then just as it sees it flashing by its head, it just turns its head quick and snaps at it. Bam! And that's, you've got to be, it's like, I guess it's a lot like fishing bonefish right down in Florida. You've got to be really good with your casts.
Yeah, like gar, the way they feed, the way their jaws are built is they literally just, I'll just take a pen here on my desk, like the long, thin gar in their jaw, and they just swipe at their bait. They stun it.
Yeah.
They stun it, they turn and grab it. They will try and open their jaw and grab it. Basically, they're just thrashing at it. So the trick is that on a typical, any typical like bass style bait, they'll swipe at it, and you can catch them on those sometimes. But the design that Jim's talking about there is what happens is they don't have any meaty tissue, very little meaty tissue in their jaw. And so how do you catch them? Well, basically they get wrapped up in it. Right now, you can fish them on a fly. Okay. You can fish them on a fly where you can tease out the strands. We've seen that before. But the crankbait technique really works well on spinning gear, as opposed to having to bring a fly rod or and also too, I think that there's a little bit more mustard in that presentation when you're doing with bigger fish than with just the
65-pound braid.
Yeah. Like I used the same setup last year. So last year for the fish off, I had to catch a gar. It was on my list, right? And now I'm going to tell you, I went through a lot of frustration because it was a day where they would swipe at it, and I just didn't connect with them. I was just frustrated a couple hours. I finally got one on. And what I did, though, is I didn't have any leaders like that, Jim. So I just tied same length of line, but 100-pound test braid. And then same setup, treble hook, 100-pound test braid. So that braided line with that treble was just kind of dangling. Actually, no, it doesn't dangle because that bait's waking along, and it's just following that bait along. You're just kind of stretching out your crankbait a little bit more. And that's where you catch them, is on that trailer hook. And but it's not usually a very aggressive strike. They just come up and they whack it. But I'm going to tell you, when you hook into them, they go nuts. They're that initial, when they take off that first connection, they're wild. Everyone should go try it. Is Rob still guiding? I think he's still guiding for you.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, like if anybody wants to try something really, really cool, it is a once in a lifetime opportunity for a lot of anglers. Go gar fishing and try and catch one, and take a guide. Rob's a fantastic guide. I couldn't recommend him more. And
well, I will say this: all this talk about gar fishing and open water fishing has certainly got the blood, going. And with Mark and Shawn in the lobby right now, they're going to be talking about the upcoming Peterborough show. And I tell you, we can't talk enough about these shows and how excited we are that there is a chance. Because let's face it, last couple of years, we never would have thought that we would have got to this point where we could actually get together and share some stories, and also get stocked up on some gear for soft water fishing. But Jed, as always, I'm going to have to bid you farewell. Yep. We've got Mark and Shawn coming up next, but just before we leave, who's going where and to what show? Where are we going to see Lawrence? Where are we going to see Jay? Where are we going to see Jim?
You go first, Lawrence.
Toronto Sportsman Show. Bluefish Canada will have an exhibit there. And every morning I'll be on the Outdoor Canada stage as well, giving seminars.
I'm coming to heckle you.
You always do.
I'll be on the tank Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Thursday and Friday is at 2:00. Saturday's at 1. I won't be up on the tank because I don't trust my legs the way they are. So I put together a PowerPoint, and we'll take it from there. I'm gonna have a test. I got a bunch of things up my sleeve that people will get a kick out of, and I'll be over heckling Lawrence. And then on the Sunday, I'm gonna try to make it over to the Shimano booth at the tackle swap in Peterborough, because I've been at every one of those they've had, so I can't miss one. And before I go to, I just got to show you. So you saw me holding the crankbait. It's not the crankbait that catches the fish. The crankbait attracts them.
Yeah.
That is what catches them.
Yeah.
That's a piece of 80-pound fluorocarbon off the back, a triple grip hook. When they bite this, when this goes by their eye from the back, they turn around, they just explode on them. You wait about 2 seconds. They've got this in their mouth. When you set the hook, the lure comes out of their mouth, as 99% of the time happens when you're fishing with just a lure. This jams into the corner of their mouth, boom, like that. And now the thing is across their mouth like this, with this jammed in the corner, and they come in the boat. You can have all the rope you want. You can have all the hooks. You can have anything you want to catch them. There is nothing like that for putting them in a boat.
No, for sure.
And it's the thing with the eye, eh? If you get the lure within a half a foot or even less, like Rob and I always used to say, oh my God, because you'd almost be touching the fish's body when it would be coming along. And it would be right here. Every time they just get it in the corner of their mouth. They are really, really effective predators. Mm-hmm. And this is what this appeals to. If it's at their eye, you got to see them to catch them. Yeah, you can get lucky blind casting. You can get lucky, but it's like bone fishing. You drive around until you go, oh, there's one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you set it up and you make your cast. There's no being in a rush to cast. You get the boat right, you get the angle, you see the fish, and you catch them.
Mm-hmm. Very cool, Jim.
It's a thrill.
Yeah.
Sounds
sight
like
fishing. It's sight fishing.
I've seen 50-inch gar clear the water.
Oof.
Like there's this much space. Yeah. There's this much space between their
Only
tails.
when I close my eyes. Hey, where are you going to be?
I cried like a schoolgirl first time.
I bet you did.
Hey, that one you always do.
I'm going to be at the Sportsman Show. I got a seminar Thursday and a seminar on Saturday, so I'll be hanging around there. I got a kind of a big announcement that I'll wait until next week to make about the Sportsman Show. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I won't be able to make it up to the Peterborough show, but I wish I know the guys can hear me backstage. So Kyle and Moose and the rest of you crazy guys up there, have fun. Those events are great and long time overdue. So have fun up there this weekend. I'll be thinking about all you guys.
Right on. Well, before we bring Mark and Shawn in, here is a word from our sponsor, and I wish you three a fantastic week. And I look forward to seeing you somewhere on the road.
See you guys.
All the best.
Thanks, guys.
Be good, kiddies.
Peace.
When it comes to Canadian food, we've got your back with flavors like lemon pepper, beer batter, campfire barbecue, lemon pepper dill, garlic butter and chives, and crispy Cajun. We've got a mix for every meal. Whether you're serving East Coast shrimp, West Coast salmon, succulent walleye, chicken wings, or veggies, we've got you covered. Coat your food in outdoor flavors. Available online or at these fine retailers.
Well, thanks so much, gents, for stepping in. You know, Kyle is a busy man, and I think he's booked a little time off to get ready for this upcoming show. First off, what an honor it is to have Mark Hunter and Shawn McCaul here on our show tonight.
Oh, thanks, Scotty. How you doing, pal?
Well, never as good as you, Shawn and Mark, but I keep trying. You know how it is. What have you guys been busy up to? Have you? There's been a lot of work getting this show ready.
Well, I'll tell you, Scotty, that a lot of the work being done is done by Kyle and his wife. There's Mark and I. We just come on and help him pump it on social media, but it's a lot mostly Kyle.
Well, you know what? And I'll say this to both of you. Thanks so much for doing this. And I can't thank the Carruthers family for finally being able to put this on. We as a community, as an industry, you know, as a family, we long for this because this is our calling. This is like our reunion, our Frost Week, if you will, where we're able to get together, you know, share a few stories, heckle, as Jim put it. As I said, we have lost this in the last 2 years. We're going to have to regain and recoup and revisit because I know a lot of us look a little different. You know, stuff has happened throughout the last 2 years that folks have been dealing with, But I'll tell you, I can't wait to give all of you a big hug, whether that is politically correct or not.
It's
so
correct
this
with you,
is-
Scotty.
I'm a hugger.
Yeah, this
me
is
too.
Peterborough Tackle Swap and Fishing Show. And what's really interesting is it is the first annual. Kyle has tried to do this, and then COVID stepped in the way. But what are some of the things, Mark, that we can expect in the Sunday that's coming?
Well, you're going to expect the same things that you saw when the show was in Bowmanville, but on a much grander scale, I believe. There's 95, 96 like vendors, and then you got 62 private tables as well, which is a favorite for a lot of people because that's where there's deals all over the building, but that's where some big savings are coming. And there's a lot of people that have come into the industry because of COVID. A lot of people, the soccer's been put on the back burner, the hockey, and they've picked up fishing rods and got outdoors. So I got to urge a lot of people that if you have not been to this show, this is the show of shows, and you got to come. You got to come.
Yeah, this is definitely the show of shows. Like when Mark said it's all fishing tables. Like there's no filler tables here. There's nobody selling slippers. There's nobody selling meat sticks. This is 100% fishing. Fishing from all the way to the left wall to all the way to the right wall, all the way to the front, all the way to the back.
That's awesome. Well, yes, Barry, great question. It is Sunday, March 20th. And I think there's an event that's going on the night before. And unfortunately, we all have to know our limits. And that would be mine. I'd be a mess the next day at the show if I were to party with you lads, especially Shawn. There's no way I'd keep up with you. But
well, I'm not a drink. Come hang with me. I don't drink at all, Scott. So you'll be safe in my corner, bud.
Absolutely, man. I'll hide behind you. I won't hide very well, but I'll hide behind you.
I've put a few guys to bed.
Yeah. So it is Sunday, March 20th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Interesting time. So again, you're going to have to get there, at a good time in order to jam everything that Kyle has put together in this glorious event. What's really cool is admission is only $10, and kids
$10
12 and are free. Like,
and $10 is getting you more just in the door too, Scott. So there's free parking, so that's included in your $10. And you're also going to get a couple draw tickets when you go in there. One's for a Garmin 75 Striker unit.
Garmin Striker 7CV.
Yep. And then you're going to get another ticket for Tackle Depot. And the kind of people at Tackle Depot, they've stepped up big time. And what they're doing is a draw every half hour. So it's really cool. I don't know if you ever done a big fish contest before, but it's kind of set up like that. So you pick the time slot that you want to put that ticket in. If you want to put it in as soon as you walk in the door, that's good. If you want to put it in at noon, that's good too. But every half hour, that box gets emptied and gets filled back up again with the new people putting it in. So that ticket is good. You got to be a little bit strategic here, just like the big fish contests. And maybe when it's later on in the day, you might want to put it in, or maybe first thing in the morning. That's totally up to you. You play the game how you want to. There's also a bunch of great raffles. Maybe Shawn could fill us in some of those if he'd like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Dragon Boat Peterborough show, or Peterborough, they're doing a great raffle, all kinds of different prizes. There's going to be a full list of prizes posted on the Peterborough Tackle Swap and Fishing Show Facebook page by the end of the week. And all of the proceeds is going to breast cancer. So if I could urge everybody to save $5 is going to get you your 10 tickets. You get to put them in to all the different prizes that you want to try to win. And you don't have to be there to win. You fill out your ticket, right? You just put it in. They'll call you if you win and you get your prize. So it's $5 for a great cause.
You can't beat that. Now, Ed is a little disappointed that there won't be a meat stick vendors, because I know Ed loves his meat sticks. But in terms of vendors, Jamie's asking a great question. Is there a list that you can go to that you can see who the vendors are?
There is. If you go on the Peterborough Tackle Swap and Fishing Show and Tackle Swap Facebook page, there's a list of vendors there. And there's also a we got together last Tuesday, I believe it was, at Kyle's place, and did about a 1 hour just a little sit and talk about the whole show. And there's a lot of information on there, and there's a lot of questions that could be answered by just by watching that that video there.
Now,
And it's the tackle swap and fishing show.
Tackle swap fishing show. Oh, he still got his sticker. There you go.
Yeah. Tackle swap and fishing show.
There
now,
you go.
outside of the raffles and some of the contests, is there anything that is sort of a secret behind the scenes that you guys can let us in on as an exclusive? I know this show is going to have many moving parts, and as I mentioned, our community cannot wait. So, regardless of all of the wonderful things that Kyle's doing to get us there, the show in itself is really the highlight. But is there any little tidbits that you guys are really looking forward to that you want to share tonight?
Well, I'm looking forward to free hugs. I'm looking forward to the OFC deal. The OFC's got a great deal on. They've got 50% off all of their hats, hoodies, and shirts. And then if you buy all three, it's only $50, right? So I know I'll be grabbing some more OFC swag, 100%.
You know what, Shawn, you're a gem, because I was supposed to remember all that, and I said the moves. He called me like 10 minutes before we went to live. I said he went through the whole thing, and I said, but I am never going to remember that. But anyway, good for you, Shawn. You hit it out of the park. Mark, is there anything in particular you're looking forward to?
You know what? It's weird how you said that. We haven't been together for a long time. There's going to be a lot of hellos from people we haven't seen in a long time. And I actually had a dream the other day, believe it or not, that I got in the door and I started chatting. And by the time I ended chatting with everybody, the sale was over and I didn't get to buy anything. So I think that's just a little that's just a little indication that probably the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is just seeing so many people that I haven't seen for so long, and it's going to be a blast.
Amen to that. Listen, just to recap, of course, it is Sunday, March 20th. It starts at 10 a.m., but I would suggest you get there a little early. It's going to go till 3, and admission is only $10. And the $10 to pay to see these two beauties is nothing. That's nothing. In fact, I would pay more just to spend some time with these two lads. And of course, if you have a child that's 12 years old or under, you can bring them for free.
Yeah, a couple more quick things, Scotty.
Yeah, I was just going to say, before we go, is there anything else you guys want to mention?
Yeah, there's a couple more quick things.
Go ahead, Shawn.
Yeah, there's a couple more quick things I want to mention. I want to mention there's going to be a food drive. So if you bring a non-perishable food item, you're going to get another ticket that's going to go in for that Garvin raffle. And sorry, and kids under 12 are free, right?
Yep.
And there's something else I was missing here. Oh,
well, with that
cash.
Food drive, yeah,
bring cash, bring lots of cash, because there's going to be the ATM machine. It goes out of service every year. All the money's gone out of it. So make sure you bring your cash to the door. Make sure you bring a pocket full of cash, because there's going to be a billion deals. And Mark?
Yeah, I just wanted to say there's going to be 8 people, 8 stations to get everybody in as fast as we can. There's going to be actually 2 lines, one with food, one without food. So if you bring that can, that line may be a little bit smaller. I can't guarantee it, but it might be worth a shot to bring something for that food drive and help a really worthy cause.
Last but not least, obviously, we have to talk about it because there are still restrictions in place in the province. Is there anything in particular that you guys want to pass along to anybody that's coming to the show when it comes to masks, sanitizers, or anything else?
Well, as far as everybody's concerned right now, we have to follow the mandates, right? Laws are laws. We may like them, we may not like them, but laws are laws. And Kyle and Leanne, their main focus is keeping everybody safe, healthy, and happy. So whatever mandates are in place that day, those are the laws we're going to follow. They've lifted all of the vaccine passport mandates recently. So you're not going to need to show a vaccine passport there. But the mask mandate, unfortunately, is still in place today. So unless the government lifts it anytime soon, there's going to be a mask mandate. But if they lift it, it's gone.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Well, listen, I'm going to put in a good word for you two, to Kyle. You guys hit it out of the park. You did a fantastic job, bang up job, explaining everything that you're looking forward to and what we are now looking forward to when it comes to the Peterborough Tackle Swap and Fishing Show. And I can't wait to see you two gentlemen at this show. Thanks so much for your time tonight. Thanks for meeting, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys.
Can't wait to see you, Scotty.
Right on, boys. All right, that is a wrap. Great show. Thanks to all of our guests that joined us and that were so patient waiting backstage, as Mark and Shawn just did. Again, Loretta, what a special guest we had. There is a lot going on in that lady's life, and we were honored to be spectators and just along for the ride for the 30 minutes or so that Yvonne introduced, and let us get to know a little bit more about Loretta and, of course, the Dryden District Conservation Club. It is the eve of Women's International Day. And on the eve, I think this is a great testament to all the wonderful ladies in our CFN community and in our industry as a whole. I want to thank Steve and Walter for putting this together. And I'm going to leave you with this tonight. To all the ladies, God bless you. Hope you stay safe. And we're going to be looking forward to raising your praise tomorrow. Take care. Be good. Peace.